going on, baby? Welcome back to the House of Nerd Show, episode 117, man. It's crazy. I don't know how we're at 117 episodes already, man. It's wild. Looking forward to 117 more. At least, man. You know. Marklin, good morning, man. How you doing, my man?
Hey, good morning, Sergio, man. You know, fresh out of church, so I'm blessed to be alive, healthy, happy, prosperous, free, all the good things, man. You know.
I love it. I love to hear that, my man. I love to hear that. Folks, I'm gonna be straight up with you right now. I'm gonna give it to you straight right off the bat. I'm coming off no sleep. The newborn, my little man, the baby's keeping me up. I'm like averaging, like, if I'm lucky, two hours of sleep a night, maybe 3. But I legit, I've been up all night, man. So if my energy's not there, Marklin, I know he's gonna hold it down because, you know.
Hey, man. Like I said, the House of Nerd Show has many different rooms, man. We gonna find a room to get you crunk in.
That's it, baby. That's it, man. Yeah, I was this close to putting on the shades, man. My eyes. I'm glad the camera's not high def. They're like,
you trying to be Diddy or something? Every time I put has shades on the inside, like, who are you, Diddy or something?
Hey, listen, man. Listen, Marklin, we got a fun show planned, folks. We're bringing on Oscar very shortly. He's talking his crowdfunding campaign, A Never-Ending Story, or A Never-Ending Adventure, excuse me. And at about half past the hour, at around 11:30, we're bringing on Viktor Farro of the KIRBY'S comic art team. So stay tuned for that. And once we got all our guests on the show, we're gonna play a little game of Guess the Artist, man. We haven't played it in quite some time. I'm hoping to stump Marklin and our guests and obviously.
Oh, you gonna get me because I'm a comic fan, but Sergio, you are an artist. You are an artist critic, man. Because everything we look at the colors, look at the palette, look at this, look at that. I'm like the pictures are pretty, especially they fight. Now you give me some dialogue, I might be able to roll with you there. It's like, all right, so
okay. So Marklin, we might have to come up with a game. The next game, you know, guess the writer or something like that. You know, I gotta.
Or you know what? That might be fun. We pick a panel from a comic, like, who do you think wrote this? And then do like multiple choice, like, it could be this, and that.
I like that idea. I want to give a shout out to everybody joining us. Thank you so much, man. You know, it's Sunday morning. I see some new faces in the live chats. I want to give first in the live chats this morning, nice and early. I want to give a shout out to Ronald Wet. What's going on? Good morning. Thank you so much for stopping by the House of Nerd. Yes, we got Viktor Farro on the show and Oscar Osorio. He's coming on in just a second. And we got my main man, Tommy. What's going on, buddy? It's been so long. It's good to see you. I hope everything is well and you have a wicked Sunday. Yes, let's get into it, man.
What's the agenda, Sergio? Where you want to start? Because I know we got a lot of stuff to talk about as always.
We got a lot of stuff to cover, as always. It's true. The obligatory, please remember to smash that like button. Subscribe if you aren't already. For those watching on the replay, man, let us know. If you're watching live, man, let us know what you think about the show in the comments. All that good stuff. But without further ado, let's bring on my main man, Mr. Oscar Osorio. What's going on, my man? How you doing, Oscar?
Hi guys, thank you for having me. I'm good.
Hey, it's the casita the nerd today, bro. What's going on, my man? How you doing, hombre?
I'm good. Yeah, yesterday I traveled. It was a long day, but yeah, I'm here in LA. I'm recovering, so everything's good. And
recovering. So it was a good night.
Yeah. It was more like when you travel and you're tired and everything. So not that kind of good.
Okay.
but it was good because I'm here. So
yeah.
Well,
that's the safest sound from Peru to Los Angeles, California.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a trip, though.
It's a long trip. It's a long trip.
That is a big trip, man. For those who are not familiar with Oscar, comic book creator. He's got a Zoop campaign live right now. The link is in the description, folks. All the Oscar links are there. The link to his Substack, to the Zoop campaign. He's normally you're in Peru. You're from Peru,
Yeah, yeah,
but you're coming to us live from LA because you're hitting up San Diego Comic Con.
yeah. I'm going to San Diego. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to meet creators. It's the first time I'm going as a creator myself, so I want to talk to people, show them what I got. Yeah, it's important to be there, especially because I'm from Peru. I'm usually really far away, so it's great for me to get the chance to talk to people, talk to other fans, talk to my peers, and discuss my work.
Absolutely. Hey, that's got a nice ring to it. Hey, talk to my peers now. You're a comic. You're doing it, baby. How long ago
Yeah.
about this? You told me about your plans a while back, and now you're living the dream, man. And we're going to talk about your plans and your dreams in just a sec. I want to give a shout out to those in the chats. Ruben Gomez, man. What's going on, homie? Why do I feel like it's been so long since I chopped it up with Ruben?
Because you were disappearing and I did a show with Ruben. I was like, Ruben, I need somebody to come home with me. It was Ruben. And Ruben would hit me up on Twitter like, hey, did you read this? I'm like, no, let me go look at it now.
Okay. Ruben held it down with Marklin while it was because I was off the show for like almost 2 months, man. You know, familial obligations. Shout out to Ruben holding down the house, the casita, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, Tommy, definitely, man. Good to see you. God bless, definitely, man. I appreciate you, buddy. Always showing the support and love, man. And we got a fellow Canuck. Shout out, Actual Dracula, man. Go check out his channel. He's doing big things over on his YouTubes. You know what I mean? All kinds of dope content, man. Good to see you. Not only fellow Canuck.
Actual Dracula. I didn't check that one out.
He's from the 6, baby. He's from the T-Dot, Toronto, baby. You know,
man,
so
y'all gonna make me come to Toronto and kick it, man. Y'all gonna make me come up there. Did I miss KIRBY'S? KIRBY'S has already happened. It's in August.
No, KIRBY'S is first week in August.
Okay. I might get my money right but I want to come.
It's big, it's huge, man. I haven't been I haven't been in several years, but I used to go back in the day. It's good times, man. It's good times. And we got my man Raging Cajun, another dope YouTube creator doing big things, man. Thank you so much for coming through. Oscar, man, we're here. We're talking about your first full length comic book, never-ending adventure. Talk to us, baby. What's this all about, man?
Yeah, so well, first some stuff about myself, because I think that my own story inspired the book. So I've been a fan of comics for 10 plus years. I started reading in 2010 when a local newspaper started publishing some Marvel comics in Peru. So it's been a long journey of being a fan. So I started reading. I started traveling too. I like to travel with my family, and we started to visit conventions, visit comic book shops in the States. And after a while, it was like I had this knowledge. I was the Marvel guy with my friends. I knew all the stuff. I was the one that read comics. So I started writing. I opened a small blog, and I started writing about opinions, articles about fun stuff from the movies and everything. And people started liking it. I started to like writing. So it was around that time that I also started writing for an American audience. I discovered Twitter. I discovered the creators in there, and yeah, it was kind of like the next step in my journey as a fan was to start writing, to start contributing, giving back. And then I got more in contact with the creative side of comics. I went to conventions, and I was going to the panels that taught you how to create a comic book, what makes a good comic book, the steps of writing. And it was around that time that I think that I decided to become a comic book writer, that I was going to be one eventually, because at the same time I I got my bachelor's degree in economics. I was working for a auditing firm. Yeah, so it was like I was living with this job and my normal life, and in the meantime I was passionate about comic books and I was doing all of that. So I had this like duality in my life. And then I made my own comic. We talked about it. I created my own comic book. It was a 5-page short story last year. I took it to San Diego. I gave it away. I gave it to some creators, and it was fun. I learned how to make a comic book. I worked with an editor, with artists, and everything. And ending last year, I had changed jobs, and I discovered that I was burned out. I was stressed. I was anxious with my job, and it was taking time for me from dedicating time for my passion. I stopped writing. I stopped reading comic books, and when I had this, I said to myself that if I'm doing something that is not allowing me to live my passion, to do my passion, to work in comics, and it's taking me away from it, then this is not contributing for me to move there, to get there, because at the end of the day, I wanted to be a comic book writer. So this situation, and combined with the opportunity I talked to you, Sergio, about moving to Canada and started to live in Canada, I think the end result was for me to become a comic book creator and a comic book writer, and take this step that was the logical next step. I was going to take it eventually, but this gave me the boost of confidence and wanted me to do this.
It's
And
quite,
I think
quite a
this,
step, Oscar. Sorry, because you're going from being you said an economist.
I heard him
Yeah.
say economist. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
That's got a real job.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
what,
real job.
that's like complete opposite ends of. I mean, that's night and day, man. So
yeah,
you know, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, that's gotta be scary, man. That's gotta be exciting, right?
yeah,
You know, to go to from something, I guess something stable like that,
yeah, exactly.
to comic book creators. You know, they don't become rich overnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
hope
yeah.
get that one deal.
No, that's and yeah, and this is the story I wanted to tell, because that's what inspired the book that I'm crowdfunding right now. This story of moving from something, as you said, the fixed income, something stable like the day job and everything, and moving to your passion. And yeah, there's ups and downs, because when you move to your passion, it's like they always say that you're going to be happy and you don't have to work, because if you do what you love, then you're not working, and everything like happiness. But in the end of the day, you are just moving from one type of stress or fears and anxiety from to other, because now you have the fear of disappointment, fear that you are not enough. You have this anxiety of having to make money, because as you mentioned, there's not much money in comics, like to give away to every creator that comes to comics. So there's a lot of fears, and I wanted to put this all into a page. I wanted to show the story of someone that's going to on a same journey as I went, of having to move from something that is not making you happy into something that it's like a wild adventure, and now you have to live of your passion. Now this is you, and you have to make it. So this creator, he's also a creator. This creator needs to find an idea so he can create a comic book.
This is
And
sorry, Oscar. This is your main character here. We're talking about.
yeah, so
Okay, yeah.
the protagonist is his name is Mark, and he's been on the same journey as I have. He had a stable job, a stable income. Now he's full into comics, and he has to make it. And this is a book about making. It's a book about life-changing decisions, about living, doing your passion, doing what you love.
So it sounds almost a little autobiographical, man.
I was going to say it's semi autobiographical.
Yeah. Is that fair to say, Oscar?
Yeah, it's I think it's inspired on my story.
Mhm.
But the thing is that when people hear autobiographical, they think that it's kind of like a grounded story. It's like a
Mhm.
more human story. But as you can see in the second cover, there's monsters. There's going to be fighting. There's going to be action. There's going to be travels to foreign lands. He's going to travel to his past. So it has this autobiographical sense in because it's inspiring my story. It's something that I've lived and my own feelings that I wanted to put in the page. But
Okay.
it also has this fantastic element because I wanted to create what I loved, and what I loved about comics is the fights, the action, the goofiness, the funny jokes, and all of that. I wanted to put that also. So this is kind of it's my debut work. This is the first long comic that I've created, and I wanted to put everything about me in the page, so it acts more like it's like my presentation to comic books. It's for people to say who is Oscar, who is him as a creator, and you can read this, and this is exactly this. This has my footprint all over
Okay. I like that,
the
man.
book. Yeah, because it's me, it's my feelings, it's the emotion that I want to convey when I write comic books. But it also has a fantastic element. I like it to be fun. I don't want it to be like walls of text and no fighting, no monsters, no this
Mhm.
is full of allegories. It's because it's a human story, but
Mhm.
it's embellished with these elements of fantastic adventures and the epicness of getting to know yourself, getting to know others. So, yeah, I think I wanted to combine both elements of the autobiographical, the human side, or what I'm calling the human side,
Mhm.
and the fantastic elements, the fighting, the what makes a comic book fun. And I wanted to do both of that into one.
And it looks fun, man, and definitely you can see the fantastical elements. We got some preview pages here, folks. So, folks, if you're just tuning in, we're with Oscar. He's got a crowdfunding campaign, a never-ending adventure, live on Zoop. The link to the campaign is in the description of the video. Make sure you check it out and support these dope indie creators. Not only Oscar, you're also co-editor of the House of Nerd Show.com.
Yeah,
Oscar putting that work in, man.
Putting in
yeah,
that
yeah.
work. How do you do it all, my man? How you put it all in? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that that's also like a testimony of how I've become a creator, because I was involved in the community. I wanted to do stuff about comics. I started writing articles. I started like editing articles, as you said, working on the website and everything. And I been using all of my experience writing reviews and learning from creators and learning from other people
Mhm.
to create my comic book. And I want to point that out because sometimes people think that my decision was rushed, and usually I wouldn't care about what other people think. But in this case, people may say that, oh, you made the rush decision. You were working as an economist, and now you're doing comic books. How do I know if you are doing good work? Because and
That was mom and pops saying this was a rash decision. This was what are you doing, Oscar? What are you
Well,
doing?
you know,
You
they
know,
want
like
to make sure he can feed himself and take care of himself. So, you know.
yeah, no, but I think that I've been preparing with the stuff. I've been working with you, with the stuff I've been working with other sites,
mhm,
stuff I've been working with other creators. I've been gathering all this experience, not only about how comics work, but how the industry work, how what people like to read, what they don't like. So I think that being a writer, like a self-published writer, is a lot about understanding people, understanding what moves the industry.
mhm.
So I think that I've gathered a lot of experience, but it's not like I've been working on it, because as I mentioned, this is my passion. This is what I love. So for me, talking
Okay.
about comic books, and it's like I'm gathering knowledge, and that works for like the resume to put it on what I've been doing, and all that like corporate stuff. But for me, it's like I've been having fun. So that's the cool part of all of this. Like
Hey, for sure, man. I mean, I feel like you're a lot of comic book readers. I think at one time or another had said, "Man, I'd love to write a comic book, or it would be cool." And now you're living the rock star life, baby. This is your first one. Let's check out some interior pages here, man. Because it's some fun stuff, and clearly, like I said, you can see like the fun, the adventure. Look, that's bright, vibrant.
Look at all of it is, yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, Oscar, it's four short stories. This is a one shot, folks. With four
Yeah.
short stories.
So
Yeah.
no. So this is a one shot.
Mhm,
It's 32 pages,
mhm,
and we have these side stories that I wanted to include. We're working with 4 artists, so my idea was that because the main character he has all these anxieties and stress, and one of his mental health issues is that he can't concentrate. He disperses a lot, and well, there's a lot of discussion about the Latino approach to mental health,
Mm.
and we know that the Latinos are not well known for having themselves diagnosed, especially here in Peru. Back home in Peru, in South America, is that people are not talking too much about if the most that you can achieve is admitting that you have a problem, but treating
mhm.
it's another story. So
It's sad, but
here,
I was just having this conversation with my friends the other night, Oscar. I mean, I think men in general, there's a stigma. We're not
yeah,
open to talk about our mental health, our well being, and stuff like that. And being, Latino, I think is even more. It comes in the machismo and all of that stuff, the old
yeah,
mentality. But so this is something great. I think that you're kind of bringing to the forefront in a comic book story, man. Who's the artist on this one here, bud?
yeah. So these pages are by Vinicius Carreiro from Brazil.
Okay.
He's doing the main story, and so the protagonist is struggling with what he thinks is ADHD. He's not diagnosed. He has all this mental dispersion and he can't
Mm.
focus, and it's hard because he needs to write a comic book. He has all this pressure, but he can focus. So and that's my case. I've seen that in some friends. I've seen that in my own family, and it's like people can't concentrate and they disperse. So when I started writing, it's like I wanted to do some stuff, and then I had this idea, and then I moved to that idea, and you have all these ideas, and you have they may be bright ideas, good ideas, but if you can't develop them, then they are only ideas.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to show in the page is that that's the case of Mark, of the protagonist of the book, and he gets these ideas, and then he gets distracted and has another chain of thought, and that's when the art style changes to
Mm.
show how he's traveled to a different world. Now he's going to a
I like
different
that.
thought. He's moving into something else. But these side stories, and that's what I wanted to create. These side stories are connected to the main story. It's not like it's this is not an anthology. This is a contained story,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
yeah, and he's having these thoughts for a reason, and that's something that we will explore um, during the book. This he can, for example, here in the first page, he's gone into he's telling the story of his girlfriend, and he's putting in terms of a medieval story. So he got a mess. He was telling you something completely different, and now he get a message, and he gets dispersed, and now he's talking about something else. And I've seen that happen. It's like you are doing something and you get a notification from your phone. Someone talks to you and you get distracted and you start talking about
Yep.
something completely different. And I wanted to put that in the page. It's like he gets this dispersion. And in the second one, he's traveled to like a foreign world, and this is a different art style because it's different thoughts, and I wanted to put that clear. He's having a different chain of thought each time he gets distracted, and that's why it's so hard to create a story, because he can't focus on something. And but I wanted to work with different artists to put that clear. And the best thing is that you know that he's the same. These stories is not like now we're talking about a different character. It's part of his journey, and I
Yeah.
think that when you have these thoughts, these different thoughts, and you get distracted, and and you can focus, it's for a reason. It's these thoughts are in your head for a reason, and that's why he's the same. So here, it's a trip to his past, and you can see that's the same person, that's the same dog that's talking to him, and
I love this art, man.
yeah,
This is what's her name? Salas? No?
Amalas,
Amalas, excuse me.
yeah,
Amalas. Right. She's great, man.
yeah. She does this like slice of life stories, and it's like it's really human. So I wanted to work with her for this story. This side of stories like Mark is traveling to his past. He's going to talk to his past self, and yeah, you can see that the art style is different. The tone of the story is different. We are aiming for something completely different from the previous story. This is no fantasy. This is not medieval land, but it's the same. He's the same person, but he's having these thoughts, and there's a reason he's having these thoughts, and why he can't focus on working. And the last page is more like we're back into the main story. This is Vinicius again, and now he's fighting the monster. He's fighting the big bad guy. This is like the representation of emptiness, the representation of not having any ideas, not having any thoughts, and yeah, we're back to fighting, because you can see that the contrast in both of these pages. With the first one is full of dialogue. It's like what you were talking, the autobiographical side of the story, the human side of the story. If you go into the campaign page and you see the dialogue, you read it. It's like a subtle critique to capitalism and how it makes kids forget about their creative dreams and put them to work in the big machine. So this is more like a social commentary. It's like and it's talking about deep stuff, relevant stuff, important stuff that has impact Mark's life, because he's talking about how he had this creative side when he was small, but because of capitalism he had to let that go because he need to study and everything that we do. And you can compare that to the next page that has like the big fighting, the shield, the big monster, and that's the contrast that I wanted to create. I wanted to show pages that have this relevant human side, and other pages that are just fun, that you read it and you see the fighting and the action, and you get excited for who's going to win this fight.
It looks great, Oscar. I mean, clearly, it sounds like you put a lot of thought and heart into this book, man. Folks, I encourage you. There's the link again. It's in the description. Check it out, back it. Before we move on, we do have a trailer, folks. We're gonna give you guys a little trailer.
Trailer.
My man, he's pulling out all this stuff. Oscar's not playing around with this one. Let's play this trailer.
Okay.
If you're not convinced already, I'm sure this will, man. Let's check out this bad boy over here. Here we go. Okay.
A new comic book is coming, and it dares to ask the question every comic fan asks: how the fuck do you make a comic book? A never-ending adventure is the story of Mark Bear, a young Latino struggling to keep his head straight. A former corporate worker turned comic book writer, Mark needs to think of a winning idea to make a living from his passion. But his undiagnosed ADHD disperses his thoughts and ideas, and the modern culture of fast stimuli doesn't help. Therefore, we will follow a day of his life, trying to accomplish his goals by having great adventures, which includes trips to his past and foreign lands. Will he be able to write a comic book by the last page? Oscar Osorio has assembled an international team of talent to deliver a book that is based on his own experiences of becoming a creator, while also tackling issues like loss and mental health with a fun and zany approach. But enough hype. Here's a little sample. Rise and shine, baby! Another day, another Starbies. I need to stop watching TikTok. What's on today's agenda, my dear friend? Riding, motherfucker! Riding! We need to be living off this in the next 3 months. Jeez, you sound like my parents. Me? I'm a figment of your imagination used to cope with the death of your dog. Shit! Does that mean I sound like my parents? Good morning. Mark. They're here so early. They didn't even let me check my sleep rating for tonight. I'm pretty sure I passed 90%. Oh, Mark, repeat after me. Eating melatonin is cheating. Screw you, man. I channel the weapon of the warrior monks who keep peace in the universe. Time to fight some monsters.
You are slow, Mark.
Take this! Don't let those hit you! Not a chance.
Stand still!
You are not touching me with your hard-ons. Jesus Christ, Mark. Get your cameras ready for the money shot! Will Mark conquer his demons? Will he stop getting distracted by his past? Will he be able to write a comic book before this one ends? You'll have to join us on a never-ending adventure.
There you have it, folks. There you have it, man. Campaign is live. Make sure you back. The link is in the description, man. Hey, listen, Oscar, man, real talk, man. First of all, congrats, man. I hope it gets funded, man. You're living the nerd dream right now, man. You're taking that big step, man, and you're on your way, my man. So congratulations, man. Looking forward to it. How much time is left in the campaign for folks to check this one out?
Yeah, so the campaign ends on my birthday. It's July 29th.
Okay.
So hopefully it's a happy
to
birthday.
yourself.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Hopefully it's a happy birthday, folks. Come on now. If you need any more incentive, it's ending on his birthday. Let's, digital tier, whatever, man. Let's support these dope indie comic creators, man. Oscar, I hope you make it, my man. You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it. Folks, at the top of the show, we had mentioned we got a great guest coming on. He's gonna join us in just a second. I had a great segue here. Where the heck did that? Because you do have you made a little bit of announcement regarding
Oh yeah.
yeah. Now what is going on here?
Yeah, so that's my second project in comic books. I had this idea for an anthology. It's it was like this casual conversation with my girlfriend about this moral dilemma of if you had this opportunity to push a button and someone dies and you get money out of that, would you do it? And yeah, you think about that. It's like this question, and I've seen that in videos and in the internet, all over the internet. And I think that it has a lot to unpack there, because like and it's something that I wanted to put in my work. I come from the corporate world. I think the corporate world made me who I am. It gave me a lot of skills. It gave me this idea of how to work, how the business work, and it gave me this advantage even in comic books, because there's a lot of people that are really creative, but they don't know the business side, and rightfully so, because they don't study that. But for me, I had this like small advantage in the industry about knowing how the business works, how to work with a company, and all of that. But to gain all of this, I had to be there, and I see that there's a lot of flaws in there, and one of those flaws is like the value of a person, like when persons become numbers and a person becomes just the money they give you. And this discussion of money versus a human life was really important. I felt it was relevant. So when we had this conversation, I had this idea of creating an anthology of this situation, people that get this opportunity, get the button, and they had to make this decision. But I changed a couple of stuff, because I also know that, for example, if for me, if they gave me a button, they told me you're going to get $1 million, I would be like, oh, that's a lot of money. That's really cool.
No question.
But
Push the button.
if you give this button for $1 million to a millionaire, then it's like for me, they gave me a pressing a button for $10.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. And if you give like someone that is really poor, if you give the bottom and you could take this decision for maybe like $100, they would do it. So I wanted to explore that, and I added this idea of you receive the bottom, and money will change depending on who you are, and it will also add depth to your decision.
And this is an anthology, and you've got an open submission for creators.
Yeah, it's something that I first loved. I think that my first approach to creating books was an anthology someone published a couple of years ago. And I like this idea of having the open submission. I like working with teams. I like organizing projects, and having this possibility of just like opening the doors, and anyone who wants it, you can submit your story. It's fun. I think that it gives me, so with a never-ending adventure, I created a book, I created a project as a writer, but right now I wanted to create this anthology. It's kind of more like I'm doing the works of like a publisher / editor.
Okay.
So it's giving me a whole different experience in comic books that I also wanted to have.
I dig it.
Yeah, I'm trying to prepare like this portfolio of projects that I've done, and I want to cover as much as I can. And this anthology gives me this possibility of working with different people, knowing different artists, and being more of on the sidelines of creating a project and working with other creators. So yeah, it's open submission. So if anyone's interested, you can submit your story, pair with an artist, pair with a writer, and create a.
And where can they submit it, Oscar?
That's my question. Where can they submit it at?
Yeah, where can they submit?
Yeah, so if you go into my Twitter account or into my Substack page, I think it's better into my Substack. So oscarwins.substack.com, and you can see the article where I made the announcement. And inside that article, there is a form. And in that form, in the article and in the form, you will see the details of the anthology, the timeline that I'm working with, the payment details, because it's a paid opportunity, and I think that's important because sometimes these anthologies aren't like volunteer and stuff like that. But I wanted to make it paid. I wanted to make it as legit as possible.
Paid opportunity comic creators, hit up Oscar and listen. This cover here, which is great. This is done by Francesca Fantini. Okay, newly added to the fantastic, the stellar Kirby's comic art team.
So that's the transition right there. I see what you did.
There you go.
I see what you did.
Michael was waiting. There you go, folks. Speaking of new additions to the Kirby's comic art team, we got Mr. Viktor Farro with us joining. What's going on, Victor? My man, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Victor?
Good to have you on the show, Victor, man. Yes, first of all, I gotta hit with this one right here. Congrats on that's big time, baby. Victor, you just got added to the Kirby's comic art team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I would get up, but I'm not wearing any pants.
No, don't do that.
Folks at home don't want to see that.
No.
Yeah, it came as a total surprise, and very humbled by it. Very thankful for it. Absolutely.
Congratulations, Victor. And thank you for joining us. Where are you coming to us from live?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, Chi City.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Chirac over there? Chirac?
I don't know. I just call it Chicago.
Chicago.
Just call it Chicago, Victor. You're right. Just call it Chicago. That's my favorite.
Okay, so we got Toronto. We got here Chicago. Oscar normally is in Peru. You're in LA. And then where are you coming to us from?
Birmingham, Alabama. That's where I'm at.
There you go, man. I love it, man. We're all over the place. So Victor, tell us a little bit about yourself for folks who might not be familiar with you yet. And I say yet because you're about to blow up in the comic book game. What's your comic book origin story? All that good stuff.
Origin story.
I was actually thinking about that earlier this week, and I realized that my comic book origin story actually starts in Toronto, in Scarborough, actually.
Scarborough. The
Yeah.
East End.
Yeah, long time ago.
Okay, I gotta hear this.
And Toronto has been my second home my entire life. I have family in Toronto, and it starts with Johnny Canuck, the comic book hero version, created by 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲. The reason for that is that it turns out that 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 was my uncle's best friend, and when I was younger, I would stay with them. And the first comics I ever saw were actually Johnny Canuck comics from the 40s. And he showed them to me, the originals and the original art he still had, and that sort of thing. And so that's, I think, where the comic book consciousness started. The second memory I have of comics is a John Romita Sr. Spider-Man story battling the Green Goblin, but it didn't have a cover, so I don't know what issue that is. I bought it at a corner convenience store in the neighborhood. Inside, it came in a bag. They were remaindered comics, and they didn't have covers, and it was like 5 for like 25 cents or something. And that was the first superhero comic I ever saw from Marvel or DC. And that's kind of like where the love of comics started. And then coming to Toronto in the summertime and that sort of thing, Captain Canuck quickly came on as my favorite, the very original comics. And then Cerebus, and hanging out at the Silver Snail, the old original location on Queen Street.
Yes. I was just about to say, I mean,
and I think even I want to say Vortex Comics. It was like on the second floor, and Mr. X had just come out, and so like Toronto is really like ground zero for my awakening for comics and so on. Beyond that, comics also helped me learn English. So just because of the pictures, right? So I was able to begin to equate English with the words, with the images and the action. So storytelling became really important as a tool for understanding, and that love just has never left, right? And it translated to art, so that's the comics origin story, Toronto, and Johnny Canuck.
That's pretty cool, because you had mentioned it, briefly, but what the heck is it about Toronto? Just seems to breed, what's in the water over here? Just an immense amount of like how many how many comic creators, artists, writers are from the Toronto area? It's insane.
Can we start with Superman?
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
It's crazy. It's amazing how many talented Canadian creators are part of pop culture, just history, right? It's pretty amazing.
I keep telling you, Marklin, Toronto's the greatest city on earth, baby.
Come on, kick it up.
Toronto's pretty great. Pretty great.
I love it. And look who's in the house. We got the one and only, the super talented 𝐬𝐻𝐸. Thank you so much for stopping by the live chat. Zoo, I was just telling you, we got to get you back on the show. It's been way too long since we've had you, man. Hopefully we can get Zoo. Zoo's, what was it, the 2021 Nerdy Award winner, cover artist of the year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Man, we're excited to have the KIRBY'S, fellow Kirby team in the house. Victor, you're an artist. I gotta ask probably the most important question. Favorite color? We gotta know it.
My favorite color, hands down, is yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Always been yellow. What is it about yellow?
I have no idea. It's just it just connects with me, and I don't question it too much. I just love yellow, and I don't get to use it very often, but it's awesome when I can. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not mad. Yellow, one of the House of Nerd colors here. Michael and Oscar, I'm going to ask you guys, might as well ask you guys the same one. Favorite color, you guys?
I'm gonna let Oscar go first.
For me, it's red. Yeah.
Red. Okay. Red.
Y'all gonna get mad at me. For me, it's black.
I'm not mad. Listen, man.
Black, man, it's bold, it's mysterious, and if you wear it, it makes you look cool and sleek.
I dig it, man. I'm with Oscar though. Red. I love red. It just pops something about it. Yellow's cool too. Okay. I'm gonna ask you a couple other questions, Victor. You know, we want to get in your head a little bit, man, in the psyche. What kind of nerd are you type deal? How do you take your coffee?
Cuban style.
Cuban style?
Yeah.
Okay, so with a little bit of milk?
Frothed milk. You know, more inky than watery. Very strong.
Yeah.
You know, just Cuban style is the best way to say it. It's, you know, percolator and everything.
It's so funny you said that, Victor. I promise you, I just hit up a fairly new cafe in the city, Cuban, Cubano. It's called Little Havana. So the next time in your city, you know,
All right.
coffee's on me, my man. All right.
All right.
I promise you, we're gonna hit it up. Goonies or Stranger Things?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, Goonies. Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all going classic on that, I see.
Yeah.
That's the only answer. It's the right answer, Marcus. Come on now.
It depends on what era you start watching, but I get it.
There's no way. It's not even a competition. Favorite superhero, Victor?
Yeah, I am gonna have to say that it's a toss-up, honestly, between Nexus, Steve Rude's Nexus, Captain Canuck, and Ultraman.
Ultraman. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's not exactly comic book hero, but those are close. You know, after that you've got, you know, Astro Boy, and you've got Superman, and you've got the usual, right? Batman and that sort of thing. But those first three are, you know, I'm a sucker for them.
Okay. And I got for follow. You got a preference, Batman or Superman? I feel like most folks are one or the other.
Really?
You don't think so?
It just depends.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Depends on the day. I guess.
Okay.
You know, there's so many reasons to love them for different reasons, and
Exactly.
so yeah, it just depends on the day, I guess. Like right now, I have a Batman on my board. You know, so right now I'm into Batman. So tomorrow it'll be somebody else, and then I'll be into that. So
Okay. Well, Superman, according to it was the right answer there, Victor.
Didn't you just name your son 𝐬𝐤? So we knew where you were going. You know.
Yeah. Are you buying Superman diapers yet?
Oh, they don't make him in his size. Believe me, I've looked. They got the Spider-Man one. Well, Marvel's always got so much more.
Because Spider-Man is the most popular licensed character in the world. That's why when somebody's never getting up them rights, because they know they can always sell merchandise off of it.
And I'm gonna pose a question to the audience at home, whether you're watching us live or on the replay. Favorite superhero, folks who are watching, drop it in the chats. We want to know. Also, how do you guys take your coffee? The right answer is black, in case anybody was wondering. Man, Victor, tell us about, you know, the big news, man. You got added to the KIRBY'S team. You know, we love KIRBY'S comic art here at the House of Nerd, man. I think it's without a doubt the best slate of creative talents in the game. Tell us a little bit about, you know, that's exciting, man.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. It came as a complete surprise. There are angels out there that spoke on my behalf, and so I'm very grateful. And but the strange thing about it was I've been in school for the last several years, since like heavy, just head down, nothing but studying and practicing art and comics, in particular storytelling, for the last 3 years, since 2019. It's kind of started with attending Illustration Academy. And Bill Sienkiewicz was a mentor, and George Pratt was a mentor back then, among other artists. And so since then, I've just been one class after another in a program, illustration program at Visual Arts Passage, and taken, I mean, in this period, I've taken over 180 classes, demos, hands-on mentoring, one-on-one mentoring, all focused on learning storytelling, learning this craft, right? So my last class was just this spring, and it ended on June 24th. 3 minutes, I kid you not, literally 3 minutes after I finished my last class, so in essence graduating and moving on to now being out there, the equivalent of a college graduate looking for a job. 3 minutes after I finished the class, I get the DM from Kirby's Comic Art saying that they want to talk and so on.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Like that's just a cool story in itself, right? You graduate and then you get the call, right? It's like you just got called up to the majors. Like that's kind of cool, right? So,
I'm saying they were scamming you, Victor. That's what it was.
Absolutely. And listen, I want to give a shout out to Annabelle Kirby. I think she's the hardest working rep. She's got an uncanny eye for talent, man. She's a machine. I don't know how she does it, but shout out Annabelle if you're watching or you catch it on the replay, man. Just folks, check out, and I got the link in the description as well. Kirby's slate is just, it's incredible. It's just mind blowing. Hey, look at that. We got another. Speaking of the Kirby's team, we got Mr. Casey Parsons in the house. What's going on, Casey? Good to see you, my man. What's he saying? You're saying, hey guys, fellow nerds, had some issues getting on the chat. Welcome, Victor. So happy you are with us at KCA. Your work is amazing and somehow improving daily. Congrats. Yes, absolutely, man. We got Roberto over here in the house. What's going on? Hey, Victor, you deserve it. Congrats again. Absolutely, man. And we're getting a cosign from Ronald. Annabelle is fantastic. Absolutely. Some more love, baby. I love to see him, man. The Kirby's team is in the house, coming through. And that's what's great about the team, right? So much love and support for each other, man. When Annabelle told me the good news, I said, man, it's gonna be a great fit. So super excited for you. I'm sure everybody wants to check out your dope art, man. Let's have a look here. I think first I gotta say I love Wolverine, one of my favorites. Canadian. I grew up a big Wolverine guy. This is killer, man. Absolutely killer. Is this painted or?
It's digitally painted.
Digitally painted, yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
one of the things I've been trying to do over this period of time and in school and that sort of thing is also perfecting workflows and so on to kind of close the gap a bit between traditional art and digital art, so that the experience is a bit more human, right? So that you can look at it and you can still appreciate it. One of the things we love about original art is when we get up close, right? We see the texture, we see the nuance and things like that. And many times in digital art, you're missing that, right? And so it's cool art. I mean, there's a lot of cool art that's digital. But if you like original art, you miss that. And so I've been working quite a bit to find ways to simulate it, to bring it to the digital space. So this is digital. I often look at my digital paintings as studies for possible future actual paintings. It's just a faster workflow. You can ideate, you can just think through things faster. You can try out a technique or what something might look like. And it's sort of a dry run, right, for the traditional piece. So this was done for myself, really as part of class. And it was a way to kind of think, all right, well, one day I want to do a Wolverine painting.
Mhm.
So let me try this. Let me see if this look would look good as an original. And it came out okay. So I think I might try this. If someone commissions me to do the painting, I just might do it, you know?
I love this guy. It came out okay. Nah, man, this
Great.
is insane. We got Ronald here. See, I thought the same thing. You fooled me, man. I thought I could have sworn.
Definitely thought it was traditional. Yeah.
It looks great, man. That's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. We got some more pieces here. We got was it X23?
Yep.
Yeah. That was an actual commission that I did.
Okay.
Someone asked for X23. That happens to be a 9x12 size on watercolor paper, and it's a combination of, liquid charcoal, liquid or water soluble graphite, jelly roll pen, acrylic marker, graphite, so pencil.
Sick.
I think that's about it. But yeah, so that's that. The one on the right, I call it the Cosmic Doctor Strange. That was a mock-up cover that I did. And it's digital, and it's also a study because I'd love to do this as a painting one day, like an actual painting. So it's a study, but it's also a cover mock-up, a cover sample, you know, for things. But I like the way it came out, and I think it could look good as an original painting.
Oh, it's great. I love it. So you mentioned the X23 is a commission.
Yeah.
You're remiss not to mention, folks, at 4 p.m. Eastern time today. Victor, you're gonna have. Well, why don't you let the fine folks at home?
The team at KIRBY'S Comic Art, they are launching my store page. My artist page is up now, but the shop will be live a little later this afternoon, showing some of the work that's been that I've been sending their way and that sort of thing. So I'm curious to see what's up there. I've just been honestly just putting my head down and just every day literally just making something and sending it to them. So here's another one. Okay,
Good work ethic.
Here's another one. Yeah, I mean, how else are you going to do this? This is not a job, you know, like this is a calling. This is, I get up in the morning and I'm dreaming about this stuff. I'm dreaming about solutions about a commission or a technique or something. And when I get to the studio, to this, my brain space, I just start, and it's not a job, you know, I love doing this. I just love it. You know, it's like the more I do it, the happier I am, you know? So they're debuting the shop later this afternoon, which is great. Finally it's there. And, it just seems like they're working at breakneck speed. So it's just a tip of the hat to the folks at KCA. And, I mean, it's a pretty monumental task. It's not like they have 3 artists. They have an army of artists that are just so talented. And, of course, imposter syndrome set in immediately. Like, like, what am I doing here? Like,
I'm not worthy.
But yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not worthy. It's like, how is it possible that I'm, with someone like Alex Maleev in the same space? Like, I don't belong here. I just graduated, but it's the response has been really positive, and so I'm eager to see what the shop looks like, and I'm eager to increase the interaction with folks. People on social have been really kind and really supportive. So I'm grateful for that. I literally started 3 weeks ago. So
that's crazy. And Victor, you belong on the team, man. Like I said, your stuff is just outstanding. We're gonna check out more. So Zoo, I feel like Zoo she must have heard our little Cuban conversation about the Cuban conflict.
Yeah.
I was just telling Victor, I hit up a nice little Cuban cafe just the other day. Love it. Zoo, when you're back in town, like I said, drinks are, you guys are gonna love it, man. And we got another KCA team member. We got Mr. Drummond. He said, "Hey, welcome, Victor. What's going on? I love seeing all the support, man. It's great. Thank you guys so much for coming through. We got some more. We got a ton more. Now this one here, the one on the left, I just
That's
love
Death
it,
from
man.
Sandman.
Yeah, that's Death. That's also a commission that was requested. It's also 9x12, and it's graphite and liquid charcoal, liquid graphite. You know, the typical white inks. And when I was doing this one, I just kept thinking we'd finished seeing the Sandman series, and I know that she's very noble about her position and about helping people transition and that kind of thing. But I kept thinking in terms of the character and going, that's got to wear on you after a while. You're so I kept thinking about what her feelings are and that sort of thing. And so I felt like doing something that she was more reflective of her position, and that kind of thing. So so I did that, and sort of reflecting on her role in helping people transition. So
yeah, you can see the love from the live audience there. I put these two together just because you can see the range there, the versatility, right? It's tremendous. So the Death is traditional, and
yes,
Spider-Gwen, I'm guessing
it's
digital?
all digital.
Yeah.
It's all digital, and it's like a kitchen sink of techniques in there. It just because saw the movie, so it was awesome, and so I immediately had to do something.
I knew it. As soon as I said he saw that movie and immediately did this. I could tell you.
Yeah, I came home and I did it, and it was great. And it's just an awesome and amazing movie, amazing feat. And I love how much respect they paid to the artists in this movie. So yeah, I just had to do it. It's just a fan piece, and I love it. Yeah.
Now we spoke about Victor. I don't know if you caught that portion of the show last week about Across the Spider-Verse, and I asked the audience, and I'm gonna re-ask it again because it bears repeating. Across the Spider-Verse, folks, is it a top 3 all-time comic book movie? Victor, what are you thinking?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to say that it's up there for sure. I have to think a little more. I thought the first Spider-Verse movie was an amazing film. This one was at least as good, if not better. So yeah, it's up there though. I don't know about top 3 yet. I'd have to think about that, but yeah, it's definitely one of the best ever. Absolutely.
Oscar, what are you thinking, my man? Across the Spider-Verse, top 3?
Yeah, for me it's like I don't know how to rate these movies that start in a movie and then you have the ending and the next movie. So I need to see how it ends, how it resolves everything.
Right.
But yeah, the first part was really good. So I'm excited to see part 2, how it rates as an overall film.
Okay. Oscar's playing it safe, I feel. You're playing it safe. And Mark, I feel like I know the answer. Like,
man, you know my answer. But I'll categorize it like you got Marvel movies, you got DC movies, and you got animated movies. So that's how I would do it. And I'd also say Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, they could be one, even though we're going Beyond the Spider-Verse, they could all be one big movie at the end of the day, if you look at it.
Yeah.
So it's going to make top 3 for me.
Yeah, it's tough for me. I mean, I've watched it twice, and it's tough. Victor, I said to myself, I don't know how it's gonna top Into the Spider-Verse, the first one, because I thought that was just fabulous. And then somehow for me, they did it, man. They managed to top the first one. Just great stuff. So, I mean, I can't wait for that. The second part. What was it called? Beyond
the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Had to get the opinion, folks. If you're watching, let us know. Spider-Verse, top 3 comic book movie all time, yay or nay. And I also got. Let's check in on the poll. Yeah. We got. So I asked the live chats. In a zombie apocalypse, which squad are you choosing to roll with? 60% have voting or vote. Goonies in the lead with 60% over Stranger Things with 40. So
Wait. What was the question again?
here's the question. In a zombie apocalypse, which
Okay.
squad are you rolling with? Goonies or Stranger Things? So I think it's a no-brainer, man. Goonies. Never say that.
And Goonies is winning. I like Goonies, which is the real. Hold up, Goonies is winning.
Goonies is winning, baby. 60%.
So we would ignore the fact that Stranger Things has somebody who has actual superpowers.
Super. Goonies never say die, Mark Ellen. This is
They never say die, but they also never fought zombies. They fought criminals.
Shout out to Comics and Pops at the Team Nerd Herd podcast, doing big things over on their channel, man. Check them out. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming through, man. Yeah, let's check out some more of Victor. Listen, this is insane here. Look at that. We got a little grounded superhero action here, man. The Daredevil and then the Punisher. Incredible. What can you tell us about this, Victor?
Yeah, so the Daredevil piece started because I wanted to play more, and I've been wanting to play more with the narrative elements of an illustration, not just putting a figure on a ground, but to tell some level of a story, something that makes the viewer sort of look and wonder about what's going on and sort of get sucked in a little bit into the scene. The other thing I wanted to do with the Daredevil piece was sort of tip my hat to Will Eisner and his work on the spirit and how his splash pages would always incorporate text and the name of the spirit right into the art itself. So in this case, I used the image is larger, and so you see Daredevil, the whole word, but I used it here to help define different planes. So the back wall, the front wall, the floor in front of him, just to help define dimension for the piece, and while also introducing the name of the character and so on. And so he's in a sewer type place and he's investigating and that sort of thing. And on the right, it was the same thing. It was how do I take an image and begin to tell a story, right? So in this case, it was about the Punisher, and the Punisher is always the one with the sights on someone. So I thought, well, what about the sights on him, right? And so someone's monitoring him. Someone is, potentially about to try and off him. So I was thinking about those things. It's all about narrative storytelling, visual narrative storytelling. And so that's where these came from, and the practice and that sort of thing. The one on the left, the Daredevil, is a digital piece.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the right is a hybrid. It is, the figure is original, and then all of the text and the color toning, some of the color toning is digital. So it's a composite. The final composite is digital. Okay.
I said either it's digital or Victor's got a very steady hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else do we got here? I love this Wonder Woman. Yeah, great. And then of course the Rocketeer.
Yeah. So the Wonder Woman is traditional. It's the first piece that I did experimenting with the liquid mediums, the liquid charcoal and the liquid graphite. And, I just kept thinking about that, and you don't want her angry at you, and so again, just a little bit of story to it. And I wanted it to be in the eyes, and that's all you needed for the story to just sort of come alive, the character to come alive and feel like, yeah, they're there, and you don't want her angry at you. But it's traditional. And the Rocketeer was a mock-up cover that I did. and it's digital. And I was experimenting with what I call geometric abstraction, which is my way of trying to marry values and realistic rendering with more just geometric shapes, and trying to stylize it a little bit, and just kind of seeing where that goes. And so you'll see the beginnings of me flirting with that idea in there with the movement. He's obviously in the sky, and he's flying fast, and so a lot of the shapes I have hard edges and cuts, digital cuts, and so that was the idea. Plus, Rocketeer is definitely one of my favorites. I have the originals, the comics, and I have the artist edition, and I just get lost in those pages. The ink work, Dave Stevens' ink work is just, it's mind blowing. Talk about steady hand. It's just amazing.
Yeah, Rocketeer definitely needs to make a comeback, and I think, IDW, either they just released it or it's upcoming, I believe, like a one-shot or on the Rocketeer.
A certain age, remember Rocketeer though, boy.
Yeah, it's true. This is true. And we got Ricardo Drummond in the house from KCA. He says great pieces, Victor, man. And we gotta get Mr. Drummond on the show as well. Another stellar artist over at the KIRBY'S team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we got some love. There's a presence that's felt with this Wonder Woman. It's just, man, you feel it. It's like, yeah, someone's about to get it. Yeah, what a killer piece. Agreed, man. Definitely. And I love this piece. Obviously, I'm a big Superman fan, but I think this is great. Just give me the old school like comic book poster vibes, man. Fantastic. Was this just kind of you just having fun with it? How did you?
That was my final project for my class, and my favorite rendition of Superman is the old 40s version, and the George Reeve TV show version. A bit more old school. I like the new ones, but those are, in terms of comics, are particularly close to my heart. And so the Wayne Boring, the first comic book art I saw of Superman was the Wayne Boring art. And so I kind of wanted to reflect that in this piece. And I wanted to give that 40s vibe and the whole sensationalist newspaper headlines type of thing. And, just sort of imagining the first days of Superman on Earth and how humanity might respond. And so, again, working on narrative story, right? Just how to convey a sense of story visually, not just having a figure on the ground. And of course, practicing the painting technique. I mean, that was a big part of it. Just the layers and layers and layers, and just hours and hours of just trying to bridge that gap between digital and real.
I love it, man. I love it. It's probably my favorite. I'd love to. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything, but you gotta get some prints. You gotta get a shop. We gotta request Annabelle to get this.
We need a license for that, right?
Oh, this is true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we got to get a license for that, because it is a pretty neat looking image. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
It's my phone wallpaper right now. I mean, you should probably one, but I got this, man. It's great though. I love it. And I asked last week, for the Superman Legacy. I'm going to ask the panel and those in the live chat. This is a serious question, folks.
Yeah.
This is scientific here. Trunks or no trunks in the upcoming Superman Legacy? Victor, what say you, my man?
I voted last week, and I say trunks. They can do a new take on them. But yeah, I'm partial to the original design, and I even like the very first Superman logo on his chest, and stuff like that is cool. It just visually, artistically, it's just fun to just play with the future and the past iterations. So yeah.
Marklin, what say you, my man?
I'm on the fence on this one, man. I'm on the fence, but I'm gonna be contrarian to you, Sergio. So I'm gonna say no Trunks.
My man, you're killing me. Come on.
Just because, hey, man, you know, because I know how serious it is for you. So, well, you know.
Okay. Okay. Hey, listen. We got Ronald saying Trunks, K-pop, Trunks, cap locks. I love it. As it, scream it, yell it. Dracula, Trunks, yes. Oscar, what are we talking about? Trunks or no trunks, man?
Yeah, for me it's trunks. It's like a good signal that we are going back to the good old Superman.
I'm with it. And I'm just gonna, sorry folks, I gotta take this opportunity, just a little bit of a flag. I love Superman. It's not crazy value, but it's one of my grails because I love the Flash and the Superman, two of my favorites. So I got the first Flash Superman race. Yeah, a pretty high grade. I mean, considering this is like, I want to say 60 years or something like that. 57 was. So a little bit love it.
I used to have that.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yep, I used to have it.
Yeah, I love this.
I used to have it. I know what that means. I used to.
The majority of my original collection was lost in a flood. So
I knew it the way you phrased it.
So I got paid for it. The insurance company paid, but yeah, I used to have it, and
That's terrible. That's a heartbreaker, man. Oh man. Actually, I you know what? I just thank you. Well, not thank you, but I recently moved into a sub-level basement, right? So I probably should get my stuff insured or like.
You should definitely do that. You probably should do that.
Yeah, man. Okay. On that quick note, who's winning that race, Flash or Superman, guys?
You know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. What are you saying, Marklin?
I'm gonna say the Flash, the Speed Force, man. That's been illustrated.
Of course.
And like the Flash will keep the race close with charity, you know.
Exactly. This is like not even. Yeah, what do you guys think? Oscar, Victor, live chats.
Yeah, for me it's a Flash too.
Yeah.
I mean, Superman is fast, but man, these days with the Speed Force, you can't argue with the science.
Exactly. Flash can move speed of thought at this point, you know.
Yeah. Speed of thought is crazy, man. Yeah. I don't even think it's close, really. Back to the list, man. Yeah, exactly.
It's that firestorm.
All right, so this is a really good example comparison. So the one on the left is an original. It's a 9x12, and it's also the liquid charcoal, etc. With her, I was, it was a commission that was asked for. The prompt was the idea of, the commissioner wanted an image that was showing her godness, her God awesomeness, And so she is never in her element more than when she is with the lightning and the nature and that is her essence, right? In many ways. And so I wanted to explore that in this piece and just sort of, have her stand in a way that, she's floating in the sky. That's the conceit here in the middle of the storm. And, I am all powerful and I know it kind of thing. And the one on the right is digital. And I was trying to mimic the original art technique. And I was studying the figure. It's a Batman figure that was designed by Gabriel Delato. And so I used that as my reference to sort of interpret it and then experiment with this idea of how do I translate the traditional technique, right, that I've been playing with on the digital side. So that's what that was. And so
Two fantastic pieces, Victor. And you know, I included these ones, man. I love Denzel's character in Training Day. And but you got me stumped. Who's that on the left there?
Well, they're both
It's a
Denzel
chef.
Washington. They're
Oh,
both
is
Denzel
that Denzel as well?
Yeah. So okay. So the one on the left, they're both digital pieces, by the way.
Mhm.
The one on the left is a cover mock-up because there is a comic book called Bass Reeves by Allegiance Arts that I'm a fan of. And I wanted to do my take on it. And I'd watched the movie, what is it, The Magnificent Seven, the one that Denzel was in?
It was him and Chris Pratt. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Chris Pratt. And so in that movie, even though the character isn't named Bass Reeves, it was modeled after the historical figure Bass Reeves, who was one of the first U.S. Marshals, and so I wanted to do a cover featuring him as Bass Reeves, and so I got reference for Denzel Washington, and then I stylized the mustache and everything else to make him more like the Bass Reeves character, and so it was a bit more. It's a cover. It's a bit more movie-like. It's montagey with the star in the background and so on, and the greediness, the bullet holes and that sort of thing. The one on the right was a sort of a movie posterish take on the Training Day film, and that's what the reference is from. And this piece actually was a runner-up for a national illustration annual or award, and it was selected as a runner-up for Creative Quarterly Journal, I think it was called. And it's one of several that I've been lucky enough to be recognized for nationally for the illustration work. But yeah, so this one was a runner-up, and this was really cool. It was one of the first pieces where I was really digging into a new technique for bringing out texture for brush strokes and so on. And so yeah,
it's neat. I dig it. And then you got I don't know how good folks can see it on small screen, but then you got Ethan Hawke's character there.
That's right, yeah. You got Ethan Hawke on there, and then you've got his detective badge on there. Yeah,
love that. What else do we got here? And folks, want you to stay tuned because we're gonna hit you with the Guess the Artist game in just a second. I did want to get to one or two more of Victor's works here. Man, Conan.
I was looking at Conan.
Doctor Strange, yeah.
Yeah, those are both digital. Those were studies. I was just trying to play with composition, and the Conan piece was real simple, just experimenting, trying to understand how to create distance, depth, right? What the z-axis they call, to create a sense of depth, and so that's really about it, right? And of course, who doesn't like Conan as a figure? And the one on the right was a study for the eventual cover that I did for the Doctor Strange piece that's in color. I did this one first, and still playing around with the shapes for the cosmicness of it, and you see a lot of black and white in the work, pieces and things like that, because these days I tend to, color confuses me, and it confuses a lot of people, but it confuses me in particular. And so I've realized that I'm better off starting with black and white, with grays, and just building up values to create that sense of realism and the sense of distance between things. And once I figure that out, then I can think about color. And I can go from there. Then I can just separate that process, and especially digitally, I can experiment with color palettes, and I can change my mind and that sort of thing. And then once I have a color version digitally, then I can decide if I want to do an original. But I've done all the homework. I've done all the decision making without my brain exploding because I screwed up hours of work because I chose the wrong color or something, so. Victor,
listen, I overstand, anytime I hit up the local pub and they pass me the crayons and, the placemat, the colors mess me, it's difficult, man. I have a tough time. So I'm right there with you, buddy. I get it, man.
I love drawing with crayons.
Yeah.
When I go to restaurants and they have the restaurants with the butcher paper on the tables,
it's the best.
I love it. I grab it and I start drawing and Charlie Charlie Brown, and I just start. I love drawing with crayon. I have boxes of crayons and fancy crayons and cheap crayons, and I just love it. It's great.
We got a local chain here called Jack Astor's. They do that, the like the paper and then the crayon and stuff. I go there just for that, really. I mean, they're cool with kids, but I just like the color. Folks, we got a little game. We got a little game of guess the artist, man. It's pretty straightforward, I'm gonna present to you a couple images. I'm giving you options, man. I'm hoping Marklin's he's a big art guy. He says he's gonna get every single one.
I did not say that. I said Sergio is the artist on this team.
Stop it, man. Nah. So let me pull that up. Let me see if I can screen share that bad boy here. Boom. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
There we go. Let's start. Guess the artist. There we go. Straightforward. What's she saying? Can we say that on live? Can we curse or we're trying to get monetized? Damn, that's dope. Who do we got up first here, folks? We got a little Spidey action and a little Batman action. So we've got option A is Stefano Simone of the KIRBY'S, from the KIRBY'S team. B, Seth Adams from Team Kirby. Or C, also from Team Kirby, Simone DeMeo. You know what? Let's start at the top. And audience, please play along. Who do we think this is? Who are we thinking, Victor?
B, Seth Adams.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Markla, what are you thinking, my man?
I'm going to go with Seth Adams because I know it ain't Simone DeMeo. I know that much.
Okay.
I know who is not, so I'll go with that.
All right. And Oscar, what are you thinking, buddy?
Yeah, I'll do B too.
He's like this. I'm going with B. They're both picking.
Yeah, everyone's going to be.
B. Okay. Hey, sometimes, man, you just gotta do your own thing, Oscar. Don't be afraid, my man. Don't be afraid. And what is we got Zoo in the house. She's thinking Seth in cap lock. So that it seems very confident. Let's find out, folks. Who is the art by? And B is correct. Seth Adams, man. I love those pieces, man. Great stuff, man. Little Spidey, Batman. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Who do we got up next? Oh, I love this. A little black and white pencil action. So our options here, folks. We got A, Lee Weeks. B, the GOAT, Gary Frank, or C, Jason Fabok, one of my favorites, man. He does some of the best Batman, in my opinion. Victor, let's kick it off. Who are we thinking, bud?
I'm going to go with C.
Okay. Mr. Jason Fabok, eh?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with C.
All right. Marklin, what are you thinking, buddy?
I'm actually looking at this one because I'm like, man.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't Lee Weeks. I knew that. All right. And I'm thinking it's between Gary Frank and Jason Fabok. Mm-hmm. The Daredevil's leading believed is Jason Fabok, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay. Oscar, ¿qué piensas, man? What are we thinking here, buddy?
Yeah, I'm also going to say C, but I swear this time I'm not copying. I also saw the Daredevil and it gave me the
you know what? We're switching the order next time. You're picking first next.
Yeah.
No piggybacking here. Okay. And who we got? I'm curious if Zoo's still in the chat. What's Zoo thinking? Well, we got actual Dracula thinking Gary Frank, and we've got the panel here unanimously thinking it's C. Jason Fabok. Zoo's thinking Gary Frank as well. Okay.
Like I said, it's between Gary Frank and Jason Fabok. I mean,
Yeah.
that Daredevil looks very much like Gary Frank, but it's like also a little bit off too.
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out.
Yeah.
Who's it going to be? What do we got here? Oh, I didn't play it. It is look at that.
Oh well.
I got you,
for
guys.
that.
I got you. I tried to be. I said at times they've got similar
I
styles.
mean,
right?
that's a good one because it's like, all right, you know, like it looks like it, like I said, Daredevil, but it's like they were very similar. You got us on that one.
Yeah.
Marklin, I can go home happy now. I stumped you, buddy. You were very confident before we went on live. And we Dracula and Zoo both guessing correctly. See what happens there, Oscar, when you piggyback. I'm telling you, man.
No, it wasn't. This time I wasn't.
It's great, man. So let's next one, and Oscar, I'm gonna have you pick. And the next one here, buddy. Next up here, who do we got here? Oh, who's that? Who's that? So we got our options. A, is this Zoo or Zoo artwork? Is this B, Martin Simmons art, or is this C, Mr. John J. Pearson? Oscar, you're up first, my man.
Yeah, it's got me thinking because the style is like really dark. So, I don't know. It gave me C vibes. But I'm really not sure. Yeah, I think I will say C.
See? Now, folks, I just want to point out, look how long it took Oscar this time around to make a choice. Okay, buddy, I'm on to you, my friend. I'm on to you. Okay, so you're going C, John J. Pearson. Audience, I want to know who you guys thinking, Marklin. Who you thinking, bud?
Man, this is a good one because I mean, this is a good one. It is. Because initially I was thinking Martin Simmons, because I read Department of Truth, so but it ain't him. I'm not too familiar with John J. Pearson stuff, so I'm gonna go with Zoo on this one.
You're going Zoo.
I'm gonna go Zoo because I mean I hadn't seen this artwork, but it's similar enough to what I've seen from Zoo before, though.
Okay. John J. Pearson, he's worked on Mindset. I think. What else he's doing?
Great I do know John J. Pearson did. Okay, I do all right.
Victor, who you thinking, bud?
Yeah, man. For me, it's between Martin Simmons and Zoo. But that mark making feels more like Zoo. So I'm gonna go with A.
Okay, so we've got Victor with A, thinking Zoo. Marklin, you said it was you went.
I'm gonna go with Zoo. I said Zoo. I was between but Zoo is my final answer.
Which one did you go with, my man? You there, bud?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, C.
C. Okay, so we got two Zoos and one Pearson. And what's the audience saying? Oh, I think, look at this. What we got here? We got
Alex Rose.
He's going wrong. He's going wrong. He says, forget those options. He's very confident. Okay, we got Drax saying Zoo. Okay, and suspicion. Zoo's very quiet this round here. I'm not actual Dracula. It could be Martin Simmons though. Okay. K-pop is thinking Zoo. Okay. Yeah, we're Zoo. Where's Zoo at? She and then Drummond, he's saying Zoo 100. Folks, the moment of truth. Who is it? Super talented.
That was a close one, though. We were on that.
Yeah.
I seen you sweating there, Mark, and I thought
I was like, man.
Okay. Yes, folks. Zoo. I tried to make that one a little trickier. I said,
you did.
At least in this one here, kind of, fairly similar.
And that's why you don't That's why you know art guy, because you've seen
I'll be honest with you. When I came across the Department of Truth piece, I could have sworn I would have bet my house there was Simmons, man. But just amazing stuff, eh? Just great. I love it. Zoo killed it, and she was laughing in the back. You love it, man. Killer pieces. Just amazing. Yeah. What's K-pop saying? The bats look for, isn't it great? Look at that Joker, man. Like, it's just, folks, what I'm telling you, man, bar none, best team in the game, KIRBY'S, and it's not even close.
Yep.
Check them out. And folks, the website, when something like an update, they're putting out all kinds of new crazy content, man. Make sure you check it out. Of course. Gotta showcase the best in the game. No question. Who's up next? Who do we got here? Ooh. I like that. We got
yes.
And Mark, I'm gonna have you go first. So our options here.
I'll go first. I ain't scared. If I get it right, I get it right.
We got option A is Chris Sheehan.
Okay.
Team KCA. All right. We got B, Manhouse, another great artist. Or C, Francesca Fantini, another new addition to the KCA team. Marklin, my man, who are you thinking?
So when I saw this from Something That's Killing Children, I immediately thought about Chris Sheehan. That's what I thought about. I said, because I read that. That's okay. So I'm gonna go with my gut. Just on I'm even gonna stretch it out. I'm just gonna go with my gut. My gut tell me Chris Sheehan off the rip.
Okay. Yay! Listen, you can't ever go wrong going with your gut. I think actual Dracula thinking Francesca with an exclamation. Very confident. K-pop thinking Fantini. Victor, who are you thinking, bud?
Yeah, I'm going with C, Francesca Fantini. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Those eyes are unmistakable.
Oscar, I mean,
so
who is it? Line here. Who are you thinking, Oscar?
Yeah. No, yeah, that's C. I know her work. I work with her.
So y'all got me. Like I said,
hey, we don't know yet.
I know there's an artist that works on Something That's Killing Children. Let me go with that right there.
This is too easy. It's too easy. I have to give him a gimme, I knew I was going to get this one.
But we're gonna redo this game, Sergio. When it comes to, we're gonna pick out stuff by writers. So we're gonna get you then.
Let's find out. Who is it? Confirmation. Yes. Super talented Francesca Fantini. Again, folks, she just got added to the team. Congratulations to her, man. I'm telling you, KCA doing big things. What is Aaron Reese saying here?
Wait. I recognize this now. That's the person who did Steak, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I've seen this before somewhere.
Well, it was like Victor was saying. It's the eyes. They're unmistakable, right? She's got that look, that style, right? So
I kept saying when he said the eyes, I was like, I've seen this before in some weird book, and I was like, that's what it was. It was Steak.
Yeah. And I think we might have one more here. Okay, so our options here: Rose, Besh, B, 𝐂𝐨𝐦𝐞, or C, Jen Bartel. Oscar, you're up first, my man.
Let me see.
Audience.
Yeah.
No helping.
Everybody's getting stumped on this one.
Yeah, it's hard. I think I go and C, but I think because I'm discarding the others.
Okay. So you're gonna go C, Jen Bartel?
Yeah.
Okay. Victor, you leaning in any particular way on this one?
Yeah, it's a toss-up for me, but I'm gonna when in doubt, choose B for me. So
okay. When in doubt, choose B. Okay. Not mad. So you're going 𝐂𝐨𝐦𝐞 and then Marklin.
I will go see Jen Bartel. I mean, I was between 𝐂𝐨𝐦𝐞 and Jen Bartel, but I'm gonna go with Jen Bartel. I feel like I've seen something similar to this before in some books.
We got 2 for Jen. Great artist. Was the audience thinking K-pop going Sozo? Now she didn't put it in caps locks this time, so I feel like the confidence
That
is
means
not.
she's not enthusiastic.
She's a little unsure. You're telling on yourself, K-pop. And an actual Dracula saying Jen Bartel, I think. No exclamation on this one, I see. No exclamation. Yeah, no, folks are a little. What's K-pop saying? Edges aren't chunky enough to be besh. You got a 9. You got a 9. Okay. What's Zoo saying? Oh, she's got the caps locks going.
Oh, Zoo's confident.
Oh, no. Okay. Big fan of hers. Is Zoo on the money? Let's find out. Let's find out, folks.
I don't think. Dang, Zoo ain't missing none.
Hmm? Zoo's got a 9, no doubt. Yeah. 𝐂𝐨𝐦𝐞, man, one of I think she had a monster 2022, eh?
Yeah.
Some crazy variant covers.
So
What was that? What was that Catwoman one with all the diamonds?
He said, 𝐂𝐨𝐦𝐞.
Yeah. Boom. She got it. But where was that? Where was this energy when she lowercase? Come on now. She wasn't okay. All right. Let's keep it moving forward. I think there is one more. Yeah, there we go. Hey, had to include a Flash piece again, right along with Superman as one of my favorites. And folks, if you haven't already, I can't say enough good things about Carmen. Came out a couple years ago from Guillaume March. Just an excellent story told in that one. So our options here for this one are A, Alex Maleev, B, Bill Sienkiewicz, or C, Casey Parsons. I'm not too familiar with Casey, but sometimes you got to give the underdogs. What are we thinking here, guys? Casey, if you're watching, I didn't mean any of that.
I remember. I'm gonna take Maleev off the table already. I'm gonna take Maleev off the table. I don't think.
Okay.
Because I even though Maleev does that moody artwork, I don't think I've seen anything quite like this from Maleev.
Okay.
So at least Sienkiewicz and Casey Parsons. Sienkiewicz always to me is a little bit, out there a little bit more. I'm thinking about New Mutants Demon Bear. So that's what I'm so that kind of leaves me with Casey Parsons. So that's kind of, I'm thinking about what I've seen with Alex Maleev in Daredevil, Bill Sienkiewicz Demon Bear, that leaves me with Casey Parsons. That's where I'm leaning towards.
Final answer?
Final answer, yes.
Locked in. You can't change it.
That's
Oscar.
Okay.
Oscar, who you thinking, man?
I'm gonna eat breakfast today anyways.
I'm also going C because of the Carmen piece. I think that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Victor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my old roommate at Illustration Academy. So it's C.
Okay, we didn't even know that.
True story, eh?
Yeah, I was in Illustration Academy. That's where Bill Sienkiewicz and the others were teachers, and Casey was one of the students with us, and we happened to be in the same. We shared the townhouse.
Oh, that's so cool! I didn't know that. Pretty cool. Look at that. What's the live chat saying? Ronald is thinking Casey. Okay. Dracula saying it's not Sienkiewicz. Oh, he's okay.
Sienkiewicz.
Apologies. You can't mispronounce the name there.
Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz. Dracula saying Maleev. Okay. And then saying not familiar with Casey Parsons. My man, get familiar. Get familiar. Local guy too, Dracula.
Yeah.
I think he's out in I'm not gonna put him on blast like that, but he's local to the GTA. He's local to the GTA. And K-pop, Katie's saying looks too blended to be Maleev. And then I think that's what you had said as well. So she's going Parsons. Again, lowercase. Very telling. Okay. See, there's the doubt sneaking in. She's saying, "Oh no, it could be. It could be." Okay, Dracula, you locked in. Final answer, Parsons. And
Ooh,
what
it's
is the thing?
It's
Is
the
that
damn
Canadian Casey?
Oh.
And then she's, Zoo also with exquisite taste agreeing with me. Carmen is a beautiful story.
I mean,
really
Zoo has not lost one yet, so.
Yes. Okay. Not Malif's style. Carmen is great. March is just showing off. He really is. He really is. Folks, I can't encourage you enough. Check it out. Oh, look at that. Casey's in the house. He's back in the house. Haha, woot. Missed that class. What a wonderful week. Okay. Casey, any inkling as to who artist?
Casey gonna vote in something that they participate in category. That don't make no sense.
Here we go. Who is the, fantastic? And I gotta say, I love this is one of my favorite Flash pieces, because real quick, you see Flash often in the similar poses, right? You don't see something like this too often, so I love it, man. Answer. Everybody's got locked in. Look at that.
I won the last one. Yeah.
Okay. Another KCA team member, Mr. Casey Parsons. Yes, fantastic stuff, man. Two of my favorite pieces. Killer, Casey. You need to chill, man. Like it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, man. I'd love to get that Carmen at Fan Expo. If you got prints of that, beautiful. KCA folks who are in the chats, please make your way through to Fan Expo. I don't know what the plan is this year, but love to hang out with you guys again, man. I think that's it. If I'm not mistaken. Am I lying? No. Okay, this I promise. Folks, this is the last one. I'm certain of this. Tula Lute, B Suspiria, or C Luana Vecchio. And just real quick, I want to say, despite what popular opinion says, I love Jared Leto's Joker look in Suicide Squad. It's great. But I digress. Let's start at the top this time. Victor, what are you thinking?
Well, I think you kind of rigged this one because the signature's on the piece. So should I pick the wrong one on purpose?
Oh, okay. I messed that up. Oh man. Okay. Well, there you.
See, that's what you get for trying to. That's what you get for trying to sneak one in. We were done.
Well, let's see if anybody still. Michael, what are you thinking, buddy?
What is the answer?
K-pop saying Suspiria. Oscar, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going B too.
Man, so completely anticlimactic. I can't believe I ended.
That's what you get for trying to do that. We were done. I went out on top. You tried to trick everybody that came back on you.
Sue saying Susie. Her art is amazing. Hard agree. But is it the correct answer? Yeah. Suspiria. I gave it away. I forgot to clear the watermark there on that one. Yes, folks, Suspiria, man. Check out her stuff. Amazing. I believe she's over at Cadence, if I'm not mistaken. And that's it, folks. That's it. Thanks for playing Guess the Artist. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And Markland, I'm glad. Like I said, I can go home. I stumped you a couple times, so
you did. It's gonna come back on you. We gonna figure something out.
I believe I even stumped the artist Victor once, maybe. I think.
Yeah.
So okay, not too shabby, folks. Let me get that out of there. Let me. Boom. There we go. Folks, man. Actually, you know what? I want to give Victor an opportunity, man. What is coming up on the books, man? What do you have in the works? Can you talk to us a little? Maybe give us a little tease. What's dropping, man?
The first is the commissions, which are just at this point coming in fast and furious. The commission requests for the 9x12 black and whites, and I'm doing a cover for a horror anthology that's coming out at the end of the year, and I'll be turning that in about a couple weeks, and I will be at Fan Expo Canada with the 𝐬𝐨𝐦𝐞 team, so that'll be my first convention.
Amazing.
The table, so it'll be great to be back in Toronto, and it'd be fun to see everybody there and meet some of the 𝐬𝐨𝐦 team for the first time. I'll be the rookie, so I fully expect to be told to go get coffee and stuff, and be the gopher, But yeah, no, very excited, and I'm working on separately as part of all this. It's not for this year, but I am working with 2 different writers for 2 different collections of short comics. So I'm doing interior art, but none of that is for public sharing at this point.
Okay.
But for next year, maybe one of the stories might make it out this year at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
A short 10 pager. So I'll share that if it comes around. And so yeah, 2 collections, and I'm hoping to move into obviously some color work at some point if people are interested, and some cover work if that comes my way. That would be great. But my focus is on just the commissions and just trying to get better. I love just doing it, so it doesn't matter what I do. It's just as long as I'm doing it, it's great.
It's crazy to think that, like, there's a next level. Look at your stuff. It's insane, right?
Yeah.
It's scary, folks. He's gonna blow up. Keep your eyes peeled on Viktor's stuff, man. Check him out. IG. I got all his links in the description of the video, man. Yeah. So listen, if by chance, if Casey and Zoop, they do give you a hard time at Fan Expo and you are the gopher, you gotta get the coffee. Remember the little Havana spot? Great coffee. Can't go wrong. The nice Cubans, man. Yeah, man. Fantastic stuff. I love these Hulk pieces, by the way. Is this commission?
They are. They're both original art commissions. Yeah, that's right.
Killer.
And they're both the same style, the same technique I've been practicing with. So
incredible, man. Look at Casey's taking time off from his vacay in Naples. Love it.
But I can't right back. I've been eating that dinner. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I see y'all back in America.
It's crazy. Yeah. And Zeus saying, "Nah, Casey will get us the coffees." Timmy's, good old Timmy's. No, nobody wants that. Oh man, I can't wait. To for Fan Expo, man. Hopefully, we get the opportunity, Viktor, to hang out, man, and chop it up at the expo with you and the rest of the team, man. Yeah. So, and when you are able to announce your work on in more detail, you gotta give houseandnurture.com the exclusive on that one, baby.
Absolutely, you got it.
Hey, Oscar, what else?
You got your camera saying that, Viktor. I'll tell you that now. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Oh, I will. It's verbal contract. Hey, listen. No, I don't play around with that stuff. Legalese now.
We'll keep it between us and the internet.
Oh man, Oscar, what do you got going on, man?
Yeah, well, right now the 2 projects that I mentioned, I had the crowdfunding campaign for a never-ending adventure, the fantastic quest of an aspiring writer looking for an idea, and the anthology covered by Francesca Fantini from 𝐬𝐶A. So open submissions from everyone that wants to send a pitch and a story. Open submissions until August 20th. So I'm working on those 2 projects.
Okay, man. And then also too, the anthology. Folks can check it out and submit the creators via your Substack, right?
Yeah, I'm at Substack at oscarwins.substack.com. So if anyone wants to check that out, it's in there.
I don't know why. I feel like Viktor's already he's on the submitting his form there. I see him clacking away, typing. What's going on there, man? It'd be pretty cool. Maybe one day, Oscar, you get a Viktor Farro cover on one of your books, man. I mean, you already got Francesca.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. It's really cool. I got my eyes on the 𝐬𝐸 team, so hopefully I can work with more of them in the future.
Zoo, we gotta get a Zoo cover, man. Incredible. Anything she touches, man. Awesome show. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Zoo.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully get to see you again in Toronto in a couple months' time. Great to know Oscar and Viktor, man. Yeah. Hey, this is what we do at the House Nerd, baby. Shenanigans. This is what we do. Absolutely. Viktor, thank you so much for hanging out with us, man. You know, appreciate you taking the time. You know, we'll be chatting. We'll be chatting, definitely. And Oscar as well, man. Thank you so much. Folks, again, check out A Never Ending Adventure. The campaign is live. The link to it is in the description, man. You know, let's help out these indie comic creators, man. You got some great artists of your own on the team there with you. So, you know, looking forward to that being successful. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I think we're gonna. I mean, Viktor, how are you on for time? I don't want to keep you too much longer.
No, I can stay if
Yeah?
you want. That's fine.
Oscar, how you doing for time, bud?
I do have to leave
It's
in
okay.
a couple of minutes. So,
That's cool.
So yeah,
Okay.
but I'll be there on the chat.
That's cool, man. Thank you so much, Oscar, for hanging out, man. Have fun at
San Diego.
San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, man.
You
Yeah.
so focused on
Yeah, I'll
fan.
be
You
there.
forgot about the number one.
That's crazy, man. Okay,
Yeah,
Oscar, we'll
I'll
see you.
send pictures.
We'll see
Yeah, see you guys. Thank you for
soon.
having me.
Okay, buddy.
Nice meeting you, Viktor. Thank you.
Likewise.
For being
Thank
here.
you.
There you have it, folks. Mr. Oscar Osorio with his campaign, A Never Ending Adventure, man. Check it out. It's cool. Looks fun. Hey, Marklin, you wanted to talk some of your favorite reads this week? I mean, this is, you know, we're
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, can we talk about that Cyclops video I sent you?
Oh my
What was
God.
that?
I wish there was a way for me to share that. It was on Facebook, folks. There's some animated Cyclops. What is it like? What would you even call it? Like a rap video going around?
And it was like it's on Black. If y'all follow Black Nerd Problems, you can see them on Instagram too. It is hilarious when they do a video on Cyclops.
Hey, you can't.
It's a rap. It's got like 38,000 views on Instagram right now.
Cyclops is goated, man. And actual Dracula, yeah. Hey, sometimes we gotta keep it going, baby. Sometimes we gotta let the good times roll. Wanted to talk some. Is Katie saying she's coming to Toronto? Hey, Toronto, the best city in the world. Come on through.
No,
come on.
Sergio trying to get me to take this trip to Toronto. You gonna get me up there?
Gotta do it, man. Come up for Fan Expo. You know, I like TCAF. I mean, Fan Expo is cool, but I like TCAF because it's more, I guess, creator oriented. You know, would you say that's fair to say, Viktor?
Yeah, no, it is. It's very much when you talk about creators. Somebody's mentioning San Diego Comic-Con, and so it's amazing how much there's this separation these days between conventions that are now started as comic conventions but now are not comic conventions, and those that are staying true to the comics roots, and you know, like Heroes Con and Baltimore Con, and so Toronto, that one is one that stays true to the creators and that sort of thing, and I enjoy those quite a bit just because I think the creators deserve the attention. Right? Small and well-known alike. It's a global community, but it still feels like a small community, and it's important to support them in every way and any way. And it's fun. I mean, it's fun to see stars and things like that, but it's also cool to interact with creators. I mean, Cerebus started out as a independent, right? So, and it was always an independent, and if you don't pay attention to creators like that, characters like that come up bone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, where are we if we don't pay attention to the creators, right?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, the big cons, they're fun and all, but like, yeah, I love the ones that are focused on like
Yeah.
the artists, the writers, and all that. Because that's where that for me personally, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, this is where it started, the comics, right? You know, so definitely that's I love TCAP, man. TCAP is great. I take it you got history in Toronto. You were telling us, Victor. You've been, yeah. To
Yeah, I mean, I've been a lifelong Toronto part-time resident. I would spend every summer in Toronto.
yeah.
3 months every year in Toronto.
Okay.
My uncle lives in, and then now I have extended family in Toronto, but my uncle lives there, and you know, I've traveled through at least a dozen or more provinces. My uncle used to be an illusionist, a magician, and
Oh, wow.
so I would be in my younger days. I was an on-stage assistant for the magic show, and I would travel around and do the shows, and so I travel all over Canada, you know, and the U.S. with him and doing the magic shows, and you know, he's been on a bunch of TV shows in Canada, and I used to be in he would do shows in the Ontario place back in the day, and the theaters that they had, and
Yeah.
and so back then they had the theaters and you had the shows, and he would do shows. And one time I was bringing out one of the crates, and you set up these flash pots so that when the thing breaks apart, you know, there's an explosion and smoke and stuff. And I was bringing out the crate and I was plugging in the flash pots, and one of them blew up in my face, you know. So I was like blacked out, you know, like wobbling on stage. I broke my fingers in Toronto at the CN Expo.
Oh, yeah? Oh, listen.
Lots of memories. Yeah, Toronto.
Yeah. Sounds like that's what right now I need to write. My memories of Toronto. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I broke my fingers there. I had a flash up blow up in my face there. It was fun times, you know.
That's a great anthology of different stories. Like,
But on the other hand, I loved going from Little Village and walking all the way to Queen Street to go to the Silver Snail and the comic shops back in the day, and you know, it was just it's a fun city to be in and visit, and I love it.
And, you know, you're talking the snail. I mean, that I grew up with the snail. You know, the old school one.
Yeah.
On Queen. And apologies to the folks who are not from the Toronto area, haven't spent time, and we're getting very Toronto specific. Just talking some old, great comic shops. Dracula will understand the references there. Victor, have you been reading anything lately? Read anything this week? Any new comic book books that dropped? Like what's on your read pile these days, man? What's good? What are we missing?
Right now, the one I'm really enjoying is Phantom Road.
Phantom Road. The new issue that came out this week too. I hadn't finished it yet. I got to it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the art and the story on that. I love that sort of just suspense that the imagery gives you. It's so quiet in terms of action in many ways, but it's just full of just eeriness and suspense, and I love it. I love it. The other one that is sort of front and center in my mind right now is a Spanish artist. His name is 𝐬𝐨𝐦𝐿, and he's been doing. He just came out with a book, the Perdida Enigma, and it's in Spanish. But I grabbed it. I had it imported, and some of his other work. It's just out there. The art style is great, and it's very surreal and cubist at the same time. It's just really great.
Who publishes that one, Victor? I'm gonna have to check.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but 𝐸𝐸𝐸. It's a Spaniard publication house, editorial house, 𝐸𝐸𝐸. and it's awesome. It's just awesome. It was just published, and the work is just great.
Okay.
And
Spain produces a whole ton of like amazing talent too. Hey, that's another spot, man. It's unreal.
yeah, and I've been enjoying Philadelphia. I'm a big fan of Jason Sean Alexander and Big fan. So I've been enjoying that a lot.
Yeah. I'm excited for him to return to Empty Zone. I know he's working on that.
That's right.
The second
I saw that.
Yeah. So
that's his work is phenomenal. It's just crazy. And outside of that, I spend a lot of time just reading everything I can find, and so I don't always necessarily follow it per se. I look at the artists. I look at the writers. I loved it's not new, but I loved the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow series. Tom King and I don't know how to pronounce her name. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲, maybe. But it was a great series. It's a wonderful, wonderful series. Incredible art. She did some comics for The Dreaming, some art for The Dreaming a while back. So that's sort of what's surrounding me. And of course, my art heroes are always around me. My artist editions are always open, and I'm looking at them. And I've got my Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, the Frank Miller artist edition, and my Rocketeer artist editions, and my old EC stories artist editions.
EC Comics, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is just so masterful. And one of my personal favorites is the artist edition for Wintermen that came out as a tribute to John Paul Leon's work, who passed away a year or two ago. And he's just a huge art hero for me. So artist editions a lot are around me, but Phantom Road is top of mind right now. I just love the work by Walta, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, Gabriel, yeah, like his stuff is just every page, man, is incredible. Casey's saying, I have the same artist editions near my table. There you go, great mind.
Well, that's why they were roommates.
Yeah.
There you go. You go. So listen, I asked, man, you guys were roommates. What kind of shenanigans did you guys get up to? I mean,
no
stories there.
No, it was a Christian college. We weren't allowed to do anything. So Illustration Academy is a boot camp of sorts, right? In the latest edition, it's been a 4-week boot camp, and you live and breathe art for 24 hours a day. That the space was open 24 hours a day. You could do art all day, all night if you wanted to. It was about 75, 80 students. And it was just this constant rotation of artists coming in to do lectures and demos, world-renowned award winners in illustration. And every week that we went to in 2019, every week had a little bit of a different theme. Like week 1 was a general editorial illustration track. The second week was comic book illustration. That's where Bill Sienkiewicz and George Pratt were the mentors for us. And week 3 and week 4 were like in the gaming industry, concept design and that sort of thing. And Illustration Academy has been around for, 26, 30 years, founded by some world-renowned illustrators, John English among them, and his dad, Mark English. And so just folks like that, Bob Peak and Bernie Fuchs. And it's just sort of like they were the first mentors. And it's just trained a lot of award-winning illustrators. And so I was there for in June of 2019, and Casey came out for he was with me for the comic book track. And we literally just ate and spoke, and that's all we breathed, art. And we just got to hang around with the teachers and just talk shop. And so it was at this college in Kansas City. And so it was the dorms for that university. And so it was, very buttoned up. You you couldn't you couldn't horse around too much, But
Yeah.
but there's downtown, KC, and so we hung out, and there were tons of people, great friends, came out of it, and yeah. So Casey was my roommate during that time, and
Cool.
he was great to learn from. He's trained classically, and so it's like just this other perspective, and that's why he's so good. There are artists that fall in love with comics and then they draw from the influence of comics, and then there are others that go beyond that, and there's a fine art background to them, and they bring all of that to comics, right? Yeah. And so Casey's one of those, and so you can see it in the work. It's so you can see the classic training in it, and it's wonderful to look at his work.
It really is, man. Folks, check out Casey over at KCA. Again, the link is in the description of the video. He's saying one of the best weeks of my life. Nothing else like it. Okay.
Yeah, no, it is life-changing, and I've said that to anyone who asks. It's if you're an illustrator and they do them again because they stopped obviously because of COVID, and if they ever do them again, and you're an illustrator, you got to go. If you're hell bent on, like reinventing yourself and leveling up 100-fold, like, it is intense, and you will get over your imposter syndrome in a hurry. You don't have time for it. You just got to get to the work and just do
that work, right? Yeah.
So if they ever do it again, everybody should go. And there's so many people who have gone multiple times because of it, the camaraderie and the friendships that come out of it, because it's so intense, and you're living and breathing this stuff, that you love, with other people who love it as much as you do, right? So that's right. Yeah. Casey's mentioning so they created the online school, Visual Arts Passage, which is where I just graduated from the illustration program.
Okay.
And they have some incredible teachers there. They have 3 different tracks online. They have the illustration track, they have the game and concept design track, and then now they have a fine art track. And I've taken courses in the concept design, game design, like Hollywood, right? And also the illustration.
Okay. So you said because of COVID, they haven't resumed the in-person.
That's right. The Illustration Academy itself hasn't resumed, but I keep waiting for them to say we're on, baby, and it's just so worth it. It's just so worth it.
I mean, it sounds like it. I mean, you got some pretty great artists coming out of it, right? So I mean,
well, I mean, the art journey is a long one, right? A lot of it is learning by mistakes that you make. When you have mentors that have so much experience, so many years of real world experience, as well as developing their talent, it's amazing how much you accelerate your own learning, because you're learning from the benefit of their lifetime of experience that they are sharing with you, right? And then the other thing is this thing of, one thing is to look at art that you love on screen, even hanging on a wall. And another thing is to see that art hero of yours actually start from scratch and create that magic in front of you. Like it's incredible to see. And so one of the big things about Illustration Academy is this idea that the mentors go and they do demos for you, day and night, and you're seeing how it's done, and it's just wonderful.
I mean, I bet. I mean, I'd like to see you this Punisher piece, just so having the shadows and I feel like I should know the character on the right, but I don't.
Yeah. So the Punisher piece is an original art piece, and it's also done in that liquid charcoal stuff. It's John Bernthal coming out of the shadows, and that was the idea. And the one on the right is Ryuk from Death Note,
Oh, okay.
And that's digital. And a lot of you see the painting strokes and so on. A lot of that is influenced by my love of a painter illustrator called 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲. He's another legend, and also a teacher recently. So he has this very loose kind of style and very liberating, to not always have sharp edges. And so the Wolverine piece came out of that influence, and this one in particular, you can see it like in the moon in the back, and just that looseness came out of it. And with the Punisher piece, for example, since I've mentioned Bill Sienkiewicz, like so much of what I learned about art from him is not so much the style as much as the fearlessness. Like, you watch him, he doesn't care. Like, he just says, hey, there's lighter fluid on the table. Let's see what happens when I put it on the art. And he would take lighter fluid and he would start melting pastel right on the art piece. And
wow.
Like he's fearless. And so you have to have that kind of fearless if you're going to like level up, because you can't get precious with your lines. You can't get precious. And that's really so easy to do. I mean, it's so easy.
Uh-huh.
But the biggest lesson I take from him is his fearlessness of just trying absolutely any material, any technique, anything. Just do it.
Yeah.
And George Pratt was also a mentor, and he won an Eisner for Wolverine work miniseries he did. He did Enemy Ace, also as Eisner nominated, and he did Batman Harvest Breed, and he is he's another one that is just like, his advice was just draw, man. Everything else will come. Like we worry about so many things as artists, right? Like we just worry about every little thing. And like his last words of advice to me at the Academy were, just draw, man. Everything else will come, And he's right. It sounds simple, but it's just so true. You just got to put your head down and just work out all the ugly drawings out of your way, out of your system, and just keep going. And don't judge it. Just keep going. And don't even worry about it, and
hey, you got me. I feel like motivated. Like, man, let me level up my stick figures here. Like,
he's just your stick figures.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the writers I'm working with now, he got motivated and he started taking some cartooning courses, and he's moved up from stick figures now. And it's just be fearless. And I see in the chat that Ronald Wendt just finished the course with Greg at Smart Art School.
Yeah. And
I was in that class. I was auditing it. So and
that's so fun. Yeah. Mark, what are you thinking, my man? Should we start our, little healthy competition between me and you, maybe?
You gonna win that. but I'll participate. But I mean, I appreciate Victor coming and sharing this opportunity, because I'm letting my people know that, hey man, you need to look at this right here. I'm like, hey, look at this right here. Look at this right here.
Some knowledge, man. Some knowledge. I think this is the last slide you shared with us. Swampy action, and then of course the shadow there.
Yeah, these are both digital, and they're both cover concepts, sample work. One is the Swamp Thing, obviously, and the trick to this one was just reflecting the love interest in his eye and making the thing more human by showing the eye a bit more. And
oh man.
So yeah, and this one I plan to do as an original painting. So this definitely serves as a study for an original painting of it. And
can you? I hope the folks at home can see that swampy boy eye. It's just like the whole thing is nuts. But then when you see like the detail, the reflection,
I see it now. I mean, I'm looking on my screen, but I see it now. The light, the reflection.
Yeah. We gotta, man, I'm just waiting. Folks, like I said, Victor's gonna blow up sooner rather than later. You're gonna start doing all these covers and all this stuff, man. I'll be first in line at the shop. The shop for this stuff, man. And then what was the idea behind the shadow there?
Oh, that was just my tip of the hat to the character. I love the character and his brashness. He doesn't much care. You know, you're done if you're in his sights. You're done.
Lights out.
And
yeah.
you know, and he loves doing it, right? So I just wanted to capture that. And this was an early piece where I was experimenting with the techniques I've been developing for bringing out texture digitally and just making it feel more natural, like natural media. And yeah, so that's what that was about.
I dig it, man. I dig it. Before we wrap this bad boy up, where did that slide go? Just one more time. Congrats, man. It's very cool. It's very cool.
No, thank you, and thank you for the support. Truly, I am honestly humbled by the reaction that has been coming my way these last few weeks, and it's not quite overwhelming because that's what you work for, right?
Mm-hmm.
You work hard to get recognized to some level, but it nevertheless, it's humbling, and I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity and to be able to do what I just love doing. And yeah, so I hope to do it for a long time, and hopefully it just keeps going, you know, better and better in terms of the cool projects, right?
Yeah.
Because I think of it in terms of that. It's like cool projects, right?
Okay, here's a question. A dream, maybe title, book, character that you'd love to work on.
Yeah, it's a long list.
This is a long list.
Just because I'm a lifelong comics nerd, but yeah, I'm gonna say that if I were gonna geek out, I would love a Captain Canuck cover. I know that that's very niche, but I would love Batman. I would love Superman, especially if it can be a retro-looking Superman. I would love Ultraman. I would love Speed Racer. I'm wearing a Speed Racer t-shirt.
I love the team, man. It's great.
Yeah, man. You know, a Wonder Woman piece. I just love. Yeah, I would love a Mighty Mouse piece to do. A Mighty Mouse. Anybody remember that? I would love Mighty Mouse.
Victor, I asked you for one, my man. You just.
He said he's a long list, Sergio. Let the man run his list off.
Sorry,
who's watching this? They may come contact him. Hey, man, we got a Mighty Mouse book for you. You ready for
it? I just love comics. You know, they were a gateway to an entire new culture for me. Mm-hmm. You know, learn the language, learn the, you know, so it's very close to my heart. And you know, I feel like if I say no to a character, it's like I'm rejecting my own children, you know, kind of thing. I just love it, and so I'll almost do anything, you know.
Just the comment here. Wolverine is insanely amazing. Hey, that's why we had our thumbnail on the video, man. Love this piece.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And then one more time, folks. Victor's art drop is today, 4 p.m. Eastern at KIRBY'S.comicart.com. So just a few short hours away. You know, check it out, man. You know, see what crazy, insane stuff is available, is up for grabs. Victor, thank you so much for coming through. You know, you're welcome back at the house anytime, man.
Thank you.
And then hopefully around for Fan Expo, we can put another live stream together. I think last year it wasn't Fan Expo. We did Casey, if you're still in the chats, what was the con that we did the Kirby showcase? You guys were, there was one in Europe, I believe. I don't think it was Como. But in any case, we got to put another Kirby's showcase together here on the show, man, and get all you guys together. Victor, thanks. Oh, there you go. Oh, look at Zoo still in the house. I love it. Basil, yes, it was Basil. Man, who do we have on that, folks? Check it out. You know, check out the channel, man. That was a whole lot of fun. We had Zoo, Casey, We had Ingrid, Gala, Gerald Perel was on there. Of course, Annabelle. Whole like we had man, it was a whole ton of them. But definitely we'll try to put something together this time. And then yeah, Casey sharing those sentiments, man.
Enjoy the ride. I like that. I love
And
the
it is
support, man.
right.
I love the support they have for each other, man. That's good.
Yeah. It's not. That's how it is, man. There's always a family over there, man. You gotta join the Facebook group there, Mark, and I'll send you the.
That is the amazing thing about the KCA team. Like even before being involved with them, like if you sort of watch their story online, their footprint online, all you see is the story of a family. Like over and over again, the photos of the team, it's just none of it is forced. You can just see the joy, the just genuine joy of being with each other and supporting each other. And that's just something that is so just honest and genuine that it's rare to see.
It's pretty cool. I mean, even just like, like you said, you're watching, everything they're putting on the socials and stuff, like that kind of family vibe really radiates, man. You can feel it, right?
Yeah.
Which is lovely, right? Yeah, and then Casey speaking on the Basel live stream. Yeah, check it out, folks. It's on the channel, the KCA showcase. It really was a bunch of them on one small screen, but we made it work, man. It was a whole lot of fun. We'll figure it out again. Folks, I think that's it, man. Let's wrap up this bad boy. Marklin, anything before we get out of here, bud?
No, man, bro, we good. We had a good show, man. We had a great show.
Hey, man. Thank you, Victor. Thank you to the live chats. Big shout out to everybody for hanging out with us for 2.5 hours, man. I had a whole bunch of fun with you guys. Again, it's the community that makes this show a whole bunch of fun, man. And shout out to all the KCA team members that came through. Look at that. Reaching out. We're making connections here, baby.
All right.
Love it.
Welcome every one of it.
There you go. And let me hit that outro. Where's that outro? We out of here, baby. The House of Nerd Show live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. We're back next week. I don't know what the plan is. We'll let you guys know on the socials. Be sure to follow, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Have a beautiful Sunday. Enjoy it, folks.